Final Fantasy for fans and first-timers is the message that greets you when you boot up the newest addition to the famous Final Fantasy series, and after a 10-year wait since the announcement of the game, it definitely needs to impress both groups. But how has the game actually fared? Well, it depends on what you look for in a game. I'll start with the story. It's interesting but feels very disconnected from the world that you're playing in. There never seems to be a threat significant enough to pull you through the story. This is especially true if you haven't seen the prequel movie Kingsglaive. Noctis Lucius Caelum, Crown Prince of Lucis, who, with his 3 retainers and friends, is travelling to meet his wife-to-be, Luna Freya, or Luna Nox Fleuret. Noctis is the chosen king of light, who is destined to rid the world of darkness. It is when Noctis learns of the death of his father during peace talks with the Empire of Niflheim that he must set out to gain the approval of his ancestors, and with Luna's help, the support of Eos's 6 gods, Titan, Rama, Leviathan, Shiva, Ifrit, and Bahamut, so that he can take back the crystal stolen by Niflheim and fulfill his destiny. The problem for me is that I never feel pressured to move the story forward. Demons only appear at night or in dungeons, and unless you have a mission to assault the Niflheim base, you only occasionally see enemies from Niflheim when dropships appear out in the world. For me, this is where the story and the world are disconnected. Because they appear only under very specific circumstances, neither the demons nor Niflheim feel like a threat you should be hurrying to destroy, even though, according to the game's NPCs, both are supposed to be apocalyptic threats. Although the first 2/3 of 15 is open and free for you to explore, as soon as you decide to proceed to Altissia to finally meet Luna, the game becomes very linear. Altissia is a small city, there's a small number of side quests, but once you decide to gain Leviathan's blessing, the rest of the game has you running down a hallway. Fortunately, around the same time, you also gain access at rest points to Umbra, a dog of Luna's, that allows you to travel back to past Lucis or Altissia so you can continue side quests. There has also been a lot of talk about Noctis and his friends, Gladiolus, Ignis and Prompto, and how great their relationship is in-game. Unfortunately, the story missions make some odd choices with these characters that ruin them for me. Each of them has a short absence from the party over the course of the game, and when they return, they've had major changes that are not explained. I believe this is where each supporting character gets some DLC in which I assume these stories are told, but it's very disconnecting when these characters that you have already spent hours with suddenly change with no explanation. Luckily, however, the moment-to-moment gameplay is amazing. As has been typical of Square Enix action RPGs, you are given a myriad of options in combat. You only ever control Noctis, but he is able to wield any weapon in the game, which could be anything from a greatsword to a revolver, and each weapon has strengths and weaknesses in a given situation, allowing you to play as you like. I spent most of the game with a longsword and a lance, for example. The depth of this system is extended when Noctis is able to slot 4 weapons or magic at a time that can be quick switched with a tap of the D-pad, which is useful when every enemy has its own strengths and weaknesses that you can take advantage of. Even enemies in the same family have different weaknesses, which keeps you switching sets to be as effective as possible. Ignis, Gladiolus and Prompto each have abilities that you can employ at will with a tech gauge that should remind a Final Fantasy fan of the active time battle system. These abilities range from a regroup command from Ignis that heals the party, to a gravity well from Prompto that can drag enemies together, or a colossal smash from Gladiolus with his greatsword. These abilities break up combat and can be combined with other effects to unleash devastating attacks. For example, try Ignis's Overwhelm ability while Noctis is using the Bow of the Clever. The rain of energy bolts will tear almost any enemy apart. Noctis has exclusive access to 13 of his ancestors' weapons, some of which are the only weapon of that type in the game, such as the crossbow, Bow of the Clever, or the shuriken Star of the Rogue. Once Noctis has collected a few of these, he gains the abilities to unleash them as a type of limit break super attack once a gauge has been charged. Magic is also available in 15, but is a crafted bomb of sorts that Noctis can craft after absorbing an elemental energy from deposits around the world. On their own, they can be useful when enemies are weak to a certain element, but they can be combined with other items to be given powerful effects. These can be potions and the like which will heal you when that spell is used, or meal ingredients that can make spells poisonous. Some powerful items can even make spells limit break above the 9,999 damage cap. You can even combine rare coins that you pick up around the world with your spells, so that they give you massive chunks of experience, which is helpful when you take advantage of Final Fantasy XV's unique experience system. Experience is gained as you would expect through killing monsters and completing quests, however it is only applied to your party when you rest at a campground, motel or hotel. If you have the money, a hotel at Golden Key will double all experience, and the Royal Suite in Altissia will triple experience if you have the 30,000 gil. Campgrounds allow Ignis to cook for the group, which will give you buffs for the following day. Ignis will learn recipes as you collect cookbooks or ingredients from monsters or vegetables found in the world. He will even copy a recipe when you eat it at a restaurant so he can cook it later. These buffs can give you increased experience gain, increased attack, magic or health, as well as other supporting effects that can help you out. 15 even has an endgame when you've beaten the main story. This consists of completing side quests, difficult monster hunts or dungeon challenges which open up once you complete every dungeon once. There is even a secret dungeon that is all about puzzles and platforming rather than combat. And these dungeons give you powerful weapons and accessories so you can tackle the next challenge in line. Essentially 15 is two games to me. One which has a largely forgettable story and one which I have so much fun playing and keeps me interested completing the next dungeon or monster hunting challenge. I'm sure fans will enjoy the familiar systems and gameplay that is unique to the Final Fantasy series, and first timers will have no trouble in picking up this game. It is not at all difficult to understand the core systems to be able to enjoy playing, and perhaps if you enjoy it enough you can then choose to go deep and complete any challenges that Final Fantasy XV has to offer.